Hey, hey, Tanya. Tanya's angry right now. She's mad
I
at
am annoyed.
me. And Chris is mad. Everybody mad at me.
Not your fault. Not your fault.
Oh, but we're
Okay.
bad. There's nothing. Listen, when you are a middle-aged person, I need shit to go the way I need it to go, or else now I got an attitude. I'm annoyed. So anyway, it is what it is. Anyway, who we talking about first? Child,
Love is Blind UK?
it was a good Love is Blind like couple of days.
It
I
was
know.
I
actually.
need Love is Blind to stop with the bullshit. Like, keep each, like, Love is Blind Mexico. We don't have them back to back because it's too much work.
It's
All
a lot
right.
of
So
work.
which one you gonna start with? Knock it out. Which one?
Okay.
UK?
UK. Okay. I
Get
think
Because
I
UK has not gotten the weddings yet. They're about
no.
to get the
Yeah,
weddings.
yeah, that'll be quick.
Yeah, we're about to get the weddings with the UK.
And it's. I don't. How are you guys feeling about the couples? Because there's not a couple on the UK that I'm just like rooting for.
I am.
There's one couple that I hate. Oh no. Yeah, you know what? I forgot because there's too many. I am rooting for one couple, and that is Demi and
Oh,
Ollie?
that's not the couple I'm rooting for too.
who are you rooting for?
Steven and the Belfast girl.
Oh yeah, Sabrina. Steven and Sabrina.
They seem to really love each other. They seem to be he really loves her. They're trying to make it work. They're doing everything they can to make it work. Their families love each other. I want them to win because even though they're going to be living separate for a while, I guess
Mm-hmm.
Belfast and London is a whole thing. But I love him. I think he's there's not been one thing about him that I didn't like. Like that, I was
He's
like,
so good to be true, though. It's like
right.
it's
And
like
she, well, it's not.
I'm waiting for shit to
But they
drop,
live
and
in
I'm like
different
telling people.
areas of the country. I mean, they're different parts of the UK, which is the
Yeah,
one sticking point. If they were in London together, it's a done deal. But he's willing to he flew to Belfast for her. I just hope that they can work, they can figure it out because there's such a two nice people. I have nothing bad to say about either one of them. They seem very genuine. They really love each other. I just hope it works out.
yeah, and I agree with you because I didn't take any notes. I was just going through my notes that I jotted down, and I didn't take any notes on them because I think they're solid. I don't think that Belfast and London's going to be an issue for them.
That's not that close.
I know that, but I think that she was very confident in saying that she can make it work because of what she does for a living. She'll be able to come there and, like him owning his own CrossFit gym, that he'll be able. I think they'll be able to make it work. I love the fact when I say that he seems too good to be true. It's like he's like dotting all of the I's and crossing all of the T's for me. But I trust him because of his story with his old girlfriend when she was ill, and then she kind of like dropped him, and he was like doing the most for her and basically like taking care of her and doing whatever, and then she was like, well, you know what, you go on and live your life, and
That's tough.
apparently she's well again, and they didn't get back together. So I think he has shown his sensitive caregiving side, and I think that I think they're solid. I will absolutely flatline if one of them says no.
I will flatline if they say no, but they are the most uninteresting people for me.
Yeah, because
That's
it's
why
nothing.
they're so good.
No, I'm not even talking about their relation together. They are just, I'm not looking for drama or anything like that from the people. But if I had to pick, if I want to stab myself in the eye or hang out with them, stab myself in the eye. They just seem very boring.
No. I think they seem very fun. Like, I think that they're professionals. They're given to me, they're giving off professional vibes. Like they have their little bit of fun, but they're
Mhm.
not going to show their ass because they're very proper professional people with their business. I think it's all about their professional relationships or
Mhm.
professional what's the word I'm trying to say? Professional what's the word when people judge you or something? Reputation. I think it's the reputation for them. Like, I don't think they're ready to show their ass and go do the
I'm
most.
not asking them to show their ass. They just don't have.
Yeah.
They don't have a fun. The personality is dull to me.
Yeah.
But I hope they
They're-
make it. They seem like, again, I agree with both of you all. They both seem very solid. If they
Yeah, I like them.
either of them say no or whatever, I just don't. I don't have anything for them.
I like them. I think they'll make it.
Yeah, I think so.
I think they're going to make it.
Who's next?
Marie and Tom.
That's going to be a hell to the no. Tom ain't saying yes, and especially after he saw Natasha.
Who is not cute. She definitely ain't cuter than. You think she's cuter?
No,
No.
that's what I'm saying. She's not cute.
No, and he was all like,
But I could see him liking her
And
because she's very British. She's very you know, you're exactly what I thought you looked like.
Mm,
And
yeah.
he kind of
like
If
I
you
said
wanna
last
smoke
week.
he can't handle that ethnicity. He can't handle the traditional values.
Nope.
The depth of the family.
Loved her family.
Love them.
Love the family.
Loved her family.
Love them.
The mother,
Yeah.
that was her sister, right?
It was her
Yeah.
sister. It was her sister, her mother, her brother, and the brother-in-law and the kids.
I loved them.
There ain't no way that UK Riot Tom is going to say yes to her, because I'm sorry, he gives off UK riots to me. I've said it last week, and I am saying it again this week. He gives off the look of, if I'm on TikTok tomorrow and watching these UK riots over this immigration thing going on, he's going to be right up in the thick of it with blonde-haired, blue-eyed Natasha. And here we are.
He would have never talked to her in the first place. And the love is blind part is, yes, I think he loves her, but I don't think he can handle her. I don't think he can. And she's just so cool. She's just like, look, this is what I expect. She's up front. She's like, this is who I am. Accept me or not accept me. If you can't take me, I get it. I'm sorry, but she's a lovely woman, just really nice, loving family. She'd be a great wife. You know, she'd be, huh?
Of course she'd be a great wife. Look at what she comes from. You were right, Chris. She made it very.
Are you all talking about me again?
Well,
In order to be a good wife, you gotta find me already know. In order to be a good wife, you gotta find me an intelligent, articulate, taller than.
We're talking about Love is Blind UK.
And in a separate house, right? Like connecting houses.
Yeah. Separate house and willing to spend money.
I'm with you on that one.
Listen, wait a minute. I don't know about the wife thing.
Yeah, but listen, Cheryl Lee Ralph had it. I never knew this. I heard about Cheryl Lee Ralph just the other day. Apparently, she's been married to her husband, who's a senator, for like 19 years. And they've never lived together. She has her house in LA, and he lives in.
You know, she lives 2 blocks from me.
I know. Yeah, remember you drove me by there on the moped.
Really?
They never lived together?
They've never lived together. He's a senator, and I think he's from DC or Virginia or something like that. So he lives there. He lives here. She lives there. And they see each other for 2 weeks. I think they see each other 2 weeks.
A month?
Every month? Or 2 weeks every quarter or something like that?
No, that can't be every quarter. It's got to be every month.
I'm thinking a month. But they'll get together. Either she'll go there or he'll go to LA, and they'll hang out for 2 weeks.
That's why it probably works.
Exactly. That's why it works. That's why they've been married almost 20 years.
Oh,
And that's what
goodness.
I'm telling you. I'm setting my ways. I will never date again because I don't want nobody up in here. I like
No.
my bed. I like my king size bed where I can spread across it, and I got my snacks on one side, my bottles of got snacks all over the side of my bed, the man's side of the bed, and I can when I wake up at 2 in the morning, I roll over and grab a snack.
Well, that's my life. It sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me.
Thank you, Gaga.
How are you anyway? How are you, lady?
I'm good. Good.
That's good.
Hang
We
it
haven't
in.
seen you in a while.
Well, I know. Well, you'll be seeing me soon.
What are you reading?
I just finished Shani's book. What's his name? Shaq's wife.
Oh, get out! Really?
It
What's her
was
name?
not good.
It was
I
not.
made myself get through it.
Yeah, I can see that. She's not a favorite.
Yeah, I just made myself. I thought, oh, how many more? I only got 20 more pages in this, but it was not good. But I also just read, just for fun, well, my summer reading stuff, nothing deep, was Sunny Hostin's Beach, Summer at Harold
Oh
Beach.
yeah, the Bluffs. Oh yeah, she had the one. She did the first one under the Bluffs.
She did the Bluffs, and she did Sag Harbor.
Sag Harbor.
She did the Vineyard, and this one is Harold Harold Beach, which is
That's right. Yes,
really
I heard about that.
That's the best one. That one is very well done.
Okay, I gotta put that down. I haven't read any of her books.
Yeah,
I bought my mother when Sunny released the first book. What is it? The Summer on the Bluffs or whatever.
Yeah.
My mother insisted I buy her the book, the hard covered book.
Oh.
And I did. And guess where that book is still collecting dust, has not been opened. I finally went to her house and took it. And then she had the audacity when the second one came out. What was it? The Sag Harbor one that came out second? TT, will you give me the new Sunny Hostin book? I said, I will do no such thing. You can get your own damn book, because what I'm not doing is paying all this money for these, and not even a soft cover. I'm willing to give you a $15 book or a $9 book. No, she wants the hardcover 32.
Well, I read all three of them, and the first two were okay.
I gotta write those down.
This one is much better written. Yeah.
Now let me ask you this: is it do you have to read them simultaneously, or is it like different stories, different characters?
But I know Sag Harbor and I know the Vineyard, so that's easy. I did not know this new place. It was where in Chesapeake Bay area, Frederick Douglass's son bought a whole plot of land that his father had put in his name and bought for him. And it's like a very exclusive, they have no hotels. I mean, it's all Black dominated. And I'd love to just go and see it, but it's the history of the place that made the difference, I think. It's much better, but it's light and it's easy and you can read it and you don't have to think. But the other two were really light, you could sit down and read that in no time, because it was. And this one, she doesn't put as much physical sex parts in it. I mean, she always says, "Oh, you want me to write?" Because she's in my links chapter, so I know her.
Okay.
And she always, talks when we're talking. She goes, "Oh, are you going to write a book, or somebody's going to write?" She goes, "You want me to write the sex parts for you?" But this one, she did it nicely. It's nicely done. There's only one little section, too, maybe half a page.
There's half a page.
How long it lasts?
Looks like I am getting that book. Y'all can give me the
rest of it is okay. But that's the two. But I'm getting ready to read The Librarian.
Okay.
Are you familiar with that one? And
I've heard of it. I haven't read it.
Yeah, and right now I'm reading, starting halfway through First Ladies. It's about Eleanor Roosevelt and, oh gosh, what's her name?
Nancy Reagan.
No.
I thought it was like 4 different for
Lady
first.
Bird Johnson.
No.
Hey, Eleanor Roosevelt and her lesbian lover?
No. Well, let me. I can't think of it, but I know it. It's wait a minute.
So Gaga didn't have her annual book club trip this year, did she? Or no?
Yeah, Mom, you had your book club trip. Don't you going soon? Your book club trip.
They were here last year. Shahida, I gotta give you your bag. You know, I'm whispering because I don't need Gaga to know that I'm still holding onto your bag. I drank your champagne though. I'll just buy you a new one.
Mary McLeod Bethune.
Mary McLeod Bethune. She's not a first lady.
No. Eleanor Roosevelt.
Lady Bird Johnson had a lesbian relationship with Mary
McLeod
Bethune.
No, Mary
Listen to Chris. It was Eleanor Roosevelt.
Wait, wasn't Eleanor Roosevelt a lesbian?
Yes, but they weren't lovers. They were just. She helped. Mary McLeod Bethune was all the restrictions and everything during the time when she was a really stalwart civil rights person. She came to our church in Buffalo once to speak, Mary McLeod Bethune.
Oh.
And it's how Eleanor Roosevelt really, got her a lot of the things that Mary McLeod Bethune wanted to get in place. She was instrumental in getting her. It's really well done. It's good. This one, it's worth, reading carefully to get all the history in it. But the other 3,
I've had a bad summer.
As they say, it's summer reading.
Yeah.
My book club is getting ready to go to. This year, we're going to go to Nashville.
Okay, that's right, Nashville.
Be careful in Nashville.
Why? What's there?
Because downtown they have like these friggin' skinheads and white supremacists marching every single weekend.
Really?
Downtown.
Well, yeah, that's the main area where all the restaurants and everything is.
The last 4 weeks.
We went to the house, and I think it's in like the downtown area. Anyway, I'll let you know.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know any restaurants, or there's an African American museum that we definitely want to go, and I want to go and see the Grand Ole Opry. I don't want to go to a concert or anything. I just want to walk through, just for the experience.
That whole area, downtown Nashville, the Grand Ole Opry, and I forgot the name of the other name of the place. It's literally like within a block or 2 from each other. When are you leaving?
September, the last weekend in September.
All right. I have a friend that lives in Nashville. I'll reach out to him. Yeah, I'll reach out to him and I'll see where the spots.
What we should not miss.
Yes, what you should not miss.
A couple of Black-owned restaurants. We have a whole list, but we don't know.
Yeah, it's the Ryman Theater. That's what I was forgetting. Ryman Theater, or is that the Grand Ole Opry? Yeah, it's a Ryman Theater, and then the Grand Ole Opry is right on that main, like right around the corner from that main drag. But yeah, I'll ask him if
ask him if he knows any good restaurants.
Yeah, Black-owned restaurants and
Black-owned restaurants. And I'm trying to. I wrote down where we'll be staying, but it's supposed to be like downtown.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be good. Just don't let
we rented a house.
Listen, y'all ladies will still be, just getting up, grabbing your coffee and stuff, because them Proud Boys don't march during rush hour when people are out. They always be marching at like 6:30, 7 a.m. in the morning when the streets is clear.
Oh no.
What, this weekend? No, it was in the afternoon. Well, you know what?
Oh, I didn't see it this weekend. The last one I saw, it was like 7 in the morning.
Yeah, they probably
we rented a house on Bawkins Street, Bawkins Street.
Let's not say this. Where we gonna be staying? I will delete that out.
All right.
Also need to know where you're gonna be.
Good seeing you.
It was good seeing you too.
So
I forgot
Tom
about
and Marie ain't gonna work.
No, Tom's gonna say no.
Tom will say no. I think she would say yes. But what I did like about her too is also what she expected from him. And she was very clear about what she expected from him. And the fact that she's like, look, I'm not going to pay your mortgage for 3 to 4 or 5 years. And then you say goodbye and I have nothing to show for it.
Mhm.
So, you know, what you going to do, Tom? Type of thing. Seriously. She was like, this is what I expect. You're like, I'll pay for whatever, but I expect you to be a provider. That's my part of my religion, part of my heritage of, my tradition. And, I will be a great wife. She'll be a great wife. She'll be a great wife.
Absolutely.
But she expects him to be a traditional providing man. And I don't think he's ready for that. Doesn't seem like it.
No.
And I didn't like how he talked about her profession.
Yeah.
I was like, that was he's like, because he would have never dated, he would have dated Tosh instead, whatever she was, he wouldn't do that. So
no, which I liked. She checked him right away, but she checked him, mildly the entire time. So he can't ever be like, she was disrespectful or angry about anything. I mean, and if anything, he should pick her, if only just for her family, because you're walking into a situation where they could have been ignorant. They were the most giving, loving, open people to you coming in, and all they ask is you be the same. Wasn't asking for anything other than you be the same.
Her mother was beautiful, really sweet, really nice,
extremely
loving. She's which also leads me to say I'm glad that what's his name? Freddie was like, look, I want a prenup to Catherine because I don't like Catherine at all. I don't like how her attitude. I don't like how she is like a princess. And she's like, well, I'm not like this all the time. When she's with her girls,
she's like a fake princess, though.
Yeah, I didn't like.
Yeah, there's nothing to see about her. No.
No. But I'm saying she thinks she's like, I didn't like her attitude. I didn't like, he deserves so much better.
Yes.
He deserves a nice, simple girl.
Anymore. I think each day he's liking her a little bit less. Her friends, stupid. Like, funeral
director.
It's like a prenup is usual at this point. I mean, you should expect that. But he's like 20 years down the line. She's like, can you change a prenup? She's like, no, yeah, you can. He's talking about in the foreseeable future, if you are married less than a year or two, that you can't take his stuff. It's going to go to his sister. 20 years down the line, and you've given this man babies and stuff, and he's still holding you to that prenup, that's a problem. But that's not what he's saying. And they're too stupid to even understand that.
Right. So I'm glad that her girlfriend said, nah, I wouldn't do it, or this, that, and the other. So good. Save Freddie some time, some grief, because he's a really nice guy. He's a simple guy. He just wants to, and she treats him horribly. She doesn't treat him well at all.
She doesn't like him. That in the store, remember in the store when he was just trying to have fun, lighten the moment, and she thinks she's up here, but she's not.
No.
So she's just like a poser.
And
she would be good. She would be good with Tom.
Yeah, probably.
No, she would be
because I think Tom needs a little bit of a check.
No,
you know what I mean.
She wouldn't be good with Tom. She'd be good with Sam, because both of them are just losers.
Who's Sam?
Sam is the one that was with Nicole. That Nicole.
Yeah. I mean, but Sam's so immature, and I don't like. Oh, so let's get into Sam.
Wait a minute. He dropped Hold on. A couple of things. Back to Kat and Freddie. Kat was all, when they went shopping, and she was all dismissive with him when he was like, oh, I like these shoes. Oh, do they come in the size 11? And she was just like, oh my God. Like, she was absolutely repulsed by it, which I was like, what's wrong with that?
He's playing.
And then when she went with him to see his family, his sister, I give props to his sister, because when his sister pulled him outside to have a chat with him, and he's just like, his sister realized right off the rip, there's something off with him, like he's not being his self. And he told his sister, I just feel like I have to kind of tone myself down. And when he said to his sister, I don't know, maybe I'm just not good enough for her. And his sister was like, or maybe she's not good enough for you.
Yeah.
And I was literally, that was my moment, because I was like, this girl. And then she changed her tune. She was ignorant towards him. And then when she went to his house, she was all teeth when she saw how he had his own home at 30, if that. And his house was not only his own, but his house was nice. And this bitch is living, you still living, you 30-something years old, still living with your parents. And you're unemployed. Because she let that little tidbit slip. She's unemployed, even though she's been saying she's a dental nurse, which means dental hygienist, but she's not working at the moment. She said that to his family. She's unemployed currently and living with her parents. She went to school, got a job, then after school, got the job and moved back in with her parents. So she's just a bum bitch that's literally living off of her parents' dime. And he's doing the most. So I was like, thank you, sis, when she said, maybe she's just not good enough for you. Because she's not good enough for him. He's playing with his emotions at this point, and it disgusts me.
I didn't like her when she pulled dude aside. What's his name? Demi's.
Oh, yeah.
When she pulled him aside. And he was trying to tell her, like, what does it matter what he said? Like, well, I don't like people, giving a false impression that they broke up with me when I was the one that broke up with you. Broke up with him because you knew he was about to break up with you, because you saw the writing on the wall. It's not like you went in there. If you thought that you could get him from her, that's what you would have did, but you knew you couldn't. So, but when she started that whole thing and they had to have that conversation, and even he was, what is his name again?
Ollie
was like, well, I don't see why we have to have a conversation, but if you get something off your chest, go ahead. Even though I didn't think he handled it great that night, but I didn't like her from that moment on, because I could tell then she's nothing but trouble.
Yes.
And why was she flirting so bad with, what's his name? Wasn't she flirting
Sam?
With Sam. She was flirting big time with him.
Well, she said it. She said she's insecure, and when she feels insecure, she needs a lot of attention, but not from her man. She needed attention from another man to make him. So she has issues. That's why I said that whole, I'm a princess, I expect this, and you need to act a certain way. It's all fake, because she is not secure in herself, and that's why him acting out in the store or just showing a personality and being fun, she can't deal with it, because she's trying to have this pretense of something else, and you don't have it. I didn't even realize that she wasn't even she was unemployed. Like you said, she's a bum bitch.
Basically. And a couple of things. So back to Ollie. She lied on Ollie. She is full of shit. She lied on Ollie. She pulled him aside, had the conversation with her, and he was admitted. If I said that, I don't remember it. And I apologize for that. And then when they had their conversation was done, she went right back to her little group with Freddie and all them, and she's like, oh yeah, what did she say?
He lied.
He lied.
He admitted what he did.
He admitted that he lied, which was a lie.
Yeah.
Because he didn't admit to lying. So bitch, you lying. Then on Sam, she told Freddie, probably, I'm sitting there like this, 1, 2, 3. She must have told him like 4 or 5 times, maybe 6 or 7, that Sam, oh my God, she was all excited about it. He looks just like my ex. Oh my God, my ex looks just like Sam. Oh my God. And then she went over and talked to him. It was all up in his mouth. and then went back to Freddie and was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. But then her nose got out of joint when Miss Charlotte showed her ass up. And Charlotte had not Freddie, not Sam, but all them brothers was shook when Charlotte and Natasha walked down them stairs. Ollie was like, who's that?
But I like the fact when Ollie was like, who's that? She's just my type. But Demi's my girl. And if every man could do that and be like, yo, she's okay, Demi's my girl. Demi's my girl. Why do I love Demi? I love Demi. I love Demi. And he went and he grabbed Demi and remember he kissed her? Yeah. He was all up on Demi. He's like, that bitch is bad. But I got my girl. But I got my girl, and my girl is something else. But that bitch is bad. And I like the fact that he said it. He's like, that bitch is bad. But I got my girl. Like if I'd have known that was Charlotte, I'd have been like, But I love the fact that, and also the fact that he, even with all those things, if we're getting to Ollie and Demi, with all those things, he has. I really like Ollie as a. I was always worried that he was going to get a little bit like about how she looked or something, or everything was off.
Me too.
But he's really doubled down and been like to his father. What a wonderful couple Demi's parents are.
Loved that.
And how he was like, no matter what happens, I'm gonna take care of your daughter. She's a wonderful woman. And Demi has stepped into her spotlight, been like, you know what? Remember, she was like, at this point, I was insecure, this and the other. Be who you are. I'm gonna be and how much fun would they have when they're at the arcade, being each other and beating them? And she was running back. She was, Ollie, give me my sidekick. I was like, that's a great.
No,
it was really nice to see, and they really care for each other. And I really hope they make it. I think they deserve each other. They're really, really good to each other. They're good for each other. See, she's like, I want to marry my best friend, and I'm in love with Ollie. And he's like, that's my girl. She's like, that's my girl. That's what I've always wanted. And his family, what was his family like?
I don't think we've seen his family because I went back and they showed everybody's family. They didn't show Ollie's family.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I didn't see it. So I was like, what the hell's going on with Ollie and his people?
There was something. I know there is an issue with his family. I can't remember. I don't want to say someone like one of his parents passed or something, but there is definitely a split.
Something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it was a beautiful moment with her father.
Yes.
And he, the father was kind of looking at him going, he's like, I don't have anything bad to say about the man. Mm-hmm. And they took him aside. He's like, if there's any questions you want to know about me, sir. He was respectful, and the mother's really sweet. And the father was, how beautiful was the father? He's like, that's my baby girl. And he was weeping about it. He was so happy for her.
Together.
It was so nice. It was really beautiful.
Yeah.
Really beautiful. I really hope they make it.
I was happy that Demi got her confidence back and her security back, because even when Charlotte sauntered her ass down there and all the guys were like, woo! Like she was just, that's my man. That's my man. That's my best friend. That's my man. It is what it is. I love.
And they haven't had sex yet.
Nope. She's waiting. And I respect that. She's waiting. She's like, no, we'll see. And I guarantee and I love the fact how she's like really patient with him, and she gives him the acknowledgement. Like he was very vulnerable and telling her about his ADHD and all of that, how it takes him, what would take her normally 3 minutes to do would take him like maybe 3 hours to do. And she's just like, no problem. Like she's gonna work with him on that. And she complimented him on the proposal. Like she is that woman where
I like her a lot.
She is that Black woman that when I'm watching her, I'm like, that's what we do. She was like, baby, she was giving him all his flowers and he was just eating it up. So that's why I wasn't worried. I mean, I kind of was like, Ollie, when Charlotte walked out, but Ollie's being a man.
Yeah, but I like, even when you saying that, I like the fact that he didn't deny it. Right. He wasn't like, no, she's all right. He was like, that bitch is bad, but I got if he was being a true man, he could be like, if she said, well, did you like her? He'd be like, yeah, she's all right. He was like, no, it's bad, but I love you.
Right.
I loved how he did that,
Right.
and I like his boy too, who's also in the. I wish he had gotten some matched up with Charlotte. I wish him the brother with Charlotte, because he's like, even after when they were getting their suits done, and he was like, I dated her. I know him from the being there with him all the times. They're a beautiful couple together. And I was like, he's like, thank you, thank you, man. It's so funny also hearing the British thing of like, massive, or like, fam or bro, it's funny to hear them do their little British thing.
Yeah, I like that when they're like, bruv. They don't say bro, they're like, bruv, isn't it? Like, isn't it, is itn't it?
But before we move on from Ollie and Demi, I am a little nervous about Ollie. There's just something that makes me a little nervous about him. I want him to really appreciate her, and I feel like I have seen the growth from like, episode to episode, because in the very beginning, it just didn't seem like he was connecting with her, especially outside when they were together, and everybody was just trying to get in her head, which I think was like extremely hurtful. Like, don't say anything, let them figure out their own thing. You're not being a friend by especially when she's out, pull her aside the next day, not right there in her face. So I was nervous about that, but he does seem like each day he has had a little bit more growth and more connection with her. So I hope that keeps growing. So other than that, I'm just that little bit of nervousness.
But get off his back when they're on the honeymoon, and they were grilling him like, and Jasmine, like, Jasmine, shut up, get out. Well, I am, what do you? He's like, I'm telling you. He's like, well, you like her? He's like, yes, I do like her. I'm really into her. Well, do you really? He's like, I've been answering the question. Like, why do I have to keep answering you? He's like, I keep answering you. And that he's like, I got to get out of here, because they're both not that kissy. Everyone's like, but a lot of those couples who are like that are not going to last.
No.
And I like the fact when they got back there, they're good on their own. That's all they need to be, is good on their own. They don't have to show out and be, that's not who they are.
But then they all said too, like later on, like I said, after they built something together, they was like, oh my goodness, it's like night and day. Look at you guys. And they still weren't like all up over each other, but you could feel their connection, even though they weren't like all up on each other. So they proved them wrong. Just back up.
Ollie needs to, because of his ADHD, Ollie's going to need to get out of his own head. Because I think as the weddings get closer, obviously they're coming up, I think Ollie's going to be in his head. I think Ollie's going to be, if Ollie says no, it's going to be because of him. He's going to be his own worst enemy on that one.
I hope he doesn't say no.
I hope someone could get in his head, and that's why I'm like, his family's going to have to show up. Somebody's going to have to talk to him. If not his family, her dad is going to have to come, step in, and play daddy to him and have this conversation and be like, you know what? We got you. We got you, Ollie. Because
I gotta go back and find out what it is about his family. The
reason why I can see Ollie saying no is because he's getting in his own head.
Yeah.
Because he's got a good one there with her, and she adores him. So I would flatline if they don't make it. But again, anything can happen. If love is blind.
All right, who's next?
Did you see the mother get up in Bobby's grill, and how Jasmine's mother was like, "You have to tell me everything that's going on."
Oh yeah.
I was like, "Yo!" If Jasmine was coming from that, and she's like, "You got to stay out of her." I'm glad that Jasmine Lee said, "Mom, you got to stay. I can't tell you everything anymore. You got to stay out of my." That's why she's had failed relationships. But Bobby, good on Bobby for like weathering that storm. Because if I had seen, almost after she grilled him, like, who are you and what do you do and this, that, and the other, and like, you don't have any education, you're not educated, and this, that, and the other. He wasn't like, "Fuck you," like, whatever. He was like, "What? Okay." But I hope, I don't know if they're gonna make it. I don't know. She seems like a high maintenance. She seems, but she seems to really love him, and he seems to really dig her. So I hope that they can
And
get past whatever the mother is and all that kind of stuff.
listen, the mother is the epitome of what I see with mothers that are jealous of their daughters. Listen, woman, you made your bed. You know what I mean? You married twice. You had her, and just because you're not happy in your life, let your daughter go and be great. That whole you got to tell me everything. Like a mother wants to be so heavily involved. No,
That's
we're not
ridiculous.
friends. You're my mother. We're not buddies. I don't need to tell you everything. You've done your job. You've raised me to be a competent adult. I'm successful. I work. I take care of myself. Now you need to stay in your lane. I don't need to tell you nothing. You should be appreciative when I do tell you something or when I do involve you in my life. Because as an adult, I don't have to involve you in nothing that I do. Period. End of story. So I think the mother is going to be the reason why Jasmine ends up being alone for the rest of her natural life, because no man with a half a brain cell in his head is going to put up with that bullshit of a mother.
If she finds the right guy, she'll check her mother.
She did
Like
kind
of to check. Guess what I was gonna say. Like she did this time, but it's not a one-time thing. It's gonna have to be continuous. That she's always,
Yes.
until her mother gets it through her head that what, there's boundaries here. You are my mother. This is my husband. This is my man. He's up here. You are second in command, man. That's it. So,
But she has insecurity issues that I don't think she's going to have the sack to set her mother straight. And she might have said it a couple of times, like certain words that she said to her mother, but I don't think she's going to have the backbone to legit set her mother straight, because we're in 2024. Everybody's on social media. So it's kind of like odd for me when she was talking to him about, I just have this insecurity with social media, and if you're on there and you're following this girl or looking at this girl and that girl, ma'am,
a lot of
everybody's
people have that though.
yeah, but at the end of the
A lot
day,
of people have
here's
that
the thing.
issue.
Here's the thing.
Yes, they do.
They
I
do.
get it. But at the end of the day, everybody's on social media. Your man is gonna look like it's like the way she was talking to him. It was like she don't want him on social media at all,
She's very jealous.
She wants to monitor. Like he can't look at no girls. I don't get that. I've never gotten that. Like I've dated, I've been married, and I dated in the social media era and stuff. Men are going to do, and women too. People are going to do what they want to do. Like you can't dictate to somebody. You can specify your feelings. Like I feel some sort of way because in my previous relationships, they was all over social media and they was reaching out to this person, reaching out to that person. Ma'am, I'm not that person. Period. So it's like, for me, it's like, I don't get it. Why people obsess over the whole social media thing. If you're my man and you want to, you have friends that, women, whatever, all over social media, that's fine. I don't care about that. Now, when it becomes problematic is if you're like entering relationships with these people, or now they're like, it gets back to me that you're like DMing or some shit like that, or some, because bitches are salty and bitches will DM you knowing that's your man. I'm fucking your man. Now, if that kind of shit comes to my door, then it's problematic. You can look at all the ass clapping you want to, baby.
But that's probably what that's probably.
But a lot of it comes with an insecurity in the relationship. If you're secure, if the woman is secure in the relationship, the man makes her feel secure. Like, baby, I'm just looking at this because I want to look at this and I like looking at it. But there's still, the relationship is fine and there's no extracurricular activity going on in the DMs and the other.
I mean, she got jealous over his music video.
Yeah.
She got jealous over his music video. Boo boo.
3 years ago.
Know you. It was years. It was like 3 years ago. And she's like, I Googled you and I pulled up your music video on YouTube, and she's playing the music video, and he's got this look on his face like, I didn't know you then.
Right.
It don't
Maybe
matter if it's a music video.
So for me, that's a red flag. If I'm him, I'm looking at her like major red flag, because what you cannot do, what I've done in the past, but what I've done before I've met you is off the table. I mean, unless I was like a heroin addict or a prostitute or something, then I feel like I need to tell you. But if I'm just out there living my life,
You was a heroin.
I mean,
You'll have to fight about
I mean, I'm a healthcare professional. I kind of would have to put that on the table. Like, bro, you know, I used to inject heroin in my veins. You know,
But I love the fact that he listens to both. He listened to both the mother and Jasmine because of those ears.
Yeah.
Sure. I was waiting for somebody.
He's like,
I like him.
What did you say, Jasmine?
Like him. I do like. I
really like him.
On the fence with her,
and
but because of the issues, but I do like him.
And I think that he is really like into her. Like he's solid with her. So I think, barring, I don't think I don't think, I think they'll both be good unless something happens. I think they'll both be good.
All right, who's next?
Nicole and Ben.
Oh, Nicole and Benaya.
I like Ben. Ben is such a nice,
like him.
Nice man. You don't like Ben? You like Benaya? He's just such a nice man. How him and his mother, he hasn't dated him with 10 years, something like that. Like him and his mother, I had the nice conversation. She's like, whatever going to make you happy, I'm happy for you. And Nicole really seems to love him. And he treats her so well, and they get along with one another. But how about Sam? That motherfucker was like, she tried to fuck me, and I said no. And he was.
That's what typical bitter bitches do. Men and women are exactly the same. Listen, I always say, hurt dogs will holler. He showed up. He walked down them stairs. If he had any self-worth about himself, if I was Sam, I'd have stayed my ass at home. I don't care how much Netflix was paying me. I'd have been like, you know what? Or how much he showed up and be a nice guy, though. I would be like, you know what? There's no need for me to show up to this. I'm going to look out for me, and I'm gonna protect myself, and I'm gonna stay home, because me showing up isn't doing nothing, stirring the pot.
But that's why he wanted to show up, because that's the only attention he gets.
Right. Because he's a hurt dog, and he is a pig. He is an incel, bitch ass motherfucker that had the audacity to show up, and then it was like, oh, with the whole, let me get my notes, because I don't want to.
He said to Benaya, can we talk for a second? He's like, Benaya's like, why?
Exactly. Why? All these people wanting to clear the air or get closure. You don't need closure for a 15-minute interaction that you had with me.
And he's a gaslighter. And he's a gaslighter. Because this is why I was taking my notes, because I was like, when he was talking to Nicole, and he kept trying to put it on her. She's trying to give him back the ring and his bracelet. And he's like, because you wanted to sleep with me. And I said, no.
Yeah, he said that a couple of times.
He kept trying to set her up because, you came to my spot and you wanted to sleep with me. I just want to clarify that I said no, right? And she's just looking at him, and I'm just like, bro, how many times do you have to say that? Like, he's trying to make himself look good. And then all shit went to hell when to me, you're not a man when you have to go to another man. I don't care how hurt you are that your girl decided this isn't going to work. I realized that I want to be with this man. But when you're around him, that's just ruthless and classless for you to look at the man and say, well, she came to my place. She wanted to have sex with me. And
he said that at the end when he was clearly already angry.
Of course.
He threw that out.
He didn't even say it.
Yeah.
This is this is the thing of, it's like, just shut your mouth. I don't understand how people feel the need to air out people's dirty laundry. I don't care if Nicole, at that point, they were engaged. I don't care if Nicole showed up to his doorstep in a trench coat, ass naked, and was like, I'm a physical person, because she made that very clear. I'm all about the physical. And so I don't care if she'd have showed up ass naked. Nothing happened. So therefore, you don't need to throw it in another man's face or keep bringing it up. He's a punk. No, I'm done with
And then how
Sam.
Catherine said, oh, that's a pretty bracelet. Oh, I want this ring. Did you hear what she said about the ring? She's like, oh, that's the ring that I want. I was like, Catherine, and Freddie's over there being nice.
Oh yeah,
but watching her like,
you see how she got mad when he was. You see how she got mad when Freddie went over to say hi to Charlotte. She got her nose all out of joint, and I'm looking at her like, you just told this man that Sam looked like your ex a half a dozen times. Then you go over to Sam, you talk about the ring,
flirt with him, put your hand on her,
touchy feely.
I wanted that ring.
And then you go over to Freddie, and Freddie, you're mad because Freddie thinks that Charlotte is beautiful, and he wants to just go and say hello to her because he talked to her in the pods, and now you're all upset. Now I'm being triggered. Now she's like, now I'm being triggered. That bitch is a walking red flag, and her friends are just as worse as she is, because I come from a thing of misery loves company. Her friends were always going to tell her he ain't the one, because miserable bitches like to stick together.
I think Nicole and Benai are going to make it, though.
I think so. I was mad at her for a short minute when he was in the kitchen and he was trying to like get everything out. She's like, I'm just kind of done with it. Well, you might have found peace with it, but give him peace. That's all he's asking. Just give him peace. But they worked it out, and so they seem good. So let's move on. Are we done with UK?
We're done with UK.
Yeah, we're done with UK. Let's go to Mexico. Mexico.
That blow up between Fernanda and Geraldo. She was like,
it was long overdue.
First of all of the Mexican couples are fiery. They're all like with Francesca and Willie, he was like, you've got no balls. You got no balls. You got no. I was like, yo. And then Fernanda was like,
yeah, she went in hard.
She went in big time. But she's so immovable. Fernanda's she doesn't want to be married.
He did nothing for that triggered her. They were at a party together, and then she started flipping out because what did he do? What was the reason she gave? I forgot. You don't remember?
Fernanda?
Yeah, the reason when they got back to the apartment, because everything was fine at the party, they get back to the apartment and she just lost her mind. And it was something that happened at the party. I missed it.
Oh, because he said, do you love me? And he said, I don't love you right now to get married. He qualified it by saying to get married. It doesn't mean, he's like, well, you said I don't love you. And then she got the edification from her girlfriend, who is a gaslighter, who supports her gaslighting by going, oh, he said that? Oh, that's horrible. When I'm saying, he's like, that's not what I meant.
But she also didn't tell her girlfriend what he said in the entirety. Gave her that piece. So if you can't come to me and say, oh, well, he told me he didn't love me, I probably would have reacted the same way. But I probably would have been like, you know what? Well, what exactly did he say?
Right. And she needed something, but she needed something to break up with him too. Because the dog, he was like, look, I'll give you a choice. I can't take the dog hair in the thing. If you move to Monterrey, it's got to be this. If I move to Mexico or whatever, Mexico City, then it's got to be this way. He gave her options. She's like, he's like my son. I can't do that. This and so she loves the dog obviously more than she loves him.
Yeah. But you can't ask a person who has a dog that sleeps in the house and is kind of like maintained in there. No, your dog has to go out. I would not do that. I mean,
his dog though. His dog is like that though.
Dog. That's his dog. He's speaking what the situation is with her dog, and you just can't ask somebody to do that. You can't.
No, I get that. I was 100 with her on the dog situation.
Yeah, I was.
When I had a dog and when I had my cat, them they always came first. Period. If you don't like it,
I'm not saying they
you
come
go sleep
first,
outside. That would have
but
been
they
me.
don't
If
come
you want to
first.
sleep outside, you go sleep outside. I don't care. They would come first for me. Period.
They wouldn't come first for me, but you would have to realize and accept my attachment to them. Now, if
Of
you say
course.
I don't want the dog in the bed, okay, it's our bed now. So
I
no,
agree.
my baby has to be on the floor, but not out in the garage, not outside tied to a tree. You have to accept that.
Yeah. No, I when he met her mother and brother, it was at that moment that I was like, there's something off with her. She is mentally unstable. She should have never went on Love is Blind.
Never.
She
Yeah, I don't know how. And she was my favorite in the pods.
When she would look at him or when she'd be talking, there was nothing behind her eyes. Nothing. And I'm just like, there's something off with this woman. And when it ended, where's my notes here? Let me look. When she said
she was looking for excuses for him, also excuses to break up with him and excuses not to go through with it. Like, you know, when he went to sleep or the coffee, he's like he doesn't pay attention to the small things that I want.
But remember when they had their argument? Remember when they had their argument and they was wait, hold on. Let me just make sure I'm talking about the right one. Yes, they had their argument and he put his hands up like she was going berserk.
Yeah.
And he literally had his hands up like, and he's looking in the camera.
The camera?
And he's looking in the camera.
Back and he was like this.
I'm good. Like, whatever. And I was like,
through his stuff.
Yep.
You motherfucker, cabron. I was like, yo, dude, you need to get out. He's like, I'm out.
Real quick.
I am out.
Yeah. So
I'm glad
I was shocked that they didn't make it to the altar when they were the ones that were guiding. They were providing guidance for Willie and Francesca, who made it to the altar, and friggin' Francesca basically shamed his ass. She made it to the altar just so she could disrespect that man.
He deserved disrespect.
What with the guy that was with Fernanda? What's his name?
Stupid ass fault. No, he didn't deserve disrespect. That was her dumbass fault. That was her fault because she stayed with him. She went back with him. When she was with him, when they were engaged, he showed her who he was. He broke up with her. Remember when Fernanda and Gerardo were in their apartment? He's like, well, I've already taken myself out of the game, whatever, or taken myself off of the bench or whatever. And she's sitting there crying her eyeballs out. And then Gerardo and Fernanda are talking to him. And then he comes back to her. And I'm screaming at the TV because I'm like, Francesca, the man told you. All he needs to do is tell you one time he don't want to be with you. Believe his ass and keep it.
But he didn't act that way. He came back. Willie came back. He said, I don't want to be with you, but he came back and was loving to her and was.
But this is what I said last week about this is what I said last week, that when he did that, she should have let him go.
Yes.
Thank you.
I said that last week. She should have let him go. He needed more space and time to figure it out, and that rejection at that moment, I mean, he was sincere. He did not want it. Even if he's afraid, even though he said he was afraid, let that man go and be afraid by himself.
That's right.
I agree. She wanted it so badly, she was willing to kind of overlook it. And even though he came back and he was like, trying, I didn't see anything that made me say, nope. Oh, he's over his fear. I didn't see anything like that.
I didn't see him over it, but he was being very sweet to her again and being loving when he got in the bed. He should have left. When he said, I'm out, he should have left. And if he stayed there, she should have definitely left. She should have left when he said it. But if he said, I'm out, he should have left and not given any, and for her sake, because she obviously couldn't leave because she was still in love with him. He should have been like, you know what? I love you. I'm not into it. It wasn't for me. It wasn't enough for him to say, I'm not in it. He needed to go. He needed to just get out. And because she obviously wasn't strong enough to get out herself.
Right.
They both
So
should
yeah,
have.
I don't feel bad for her. She
I don't feel
all
bad for
that
her.
bullshit. I don't feel bad for her one lick.
Mhm.
She looked like a damn fool when she sat, and then she sat there and she's sitting there like, well, maybe I can change, do this and do that. And I'm just like, woman, you are that is a whole grown ass man. We're not dealing with children here. He is
Now
a
her
man.
daughter wasn't at the wedding, right?
She didn't. No, oh, I
No.
don't
Her
think.
daughter wasn't at the
No,
wedding. That was
no.
my clue that they weren't going to go
Yeah,
through it because she didn't bring her daughter.
yeah.
But you know what? But before we get on to anybody else, um, Gerardo, what is his name?
Gerardo and Francesca
Yeah.
and Fernanda.
Yeah, he talked so much shit about Karen. Remember, the men disrespected her a little bit, but he talked shit that they wasn't gonna make it. He was talking shit about all the couples. Remember when they on the honeymoon?
Oh
He
yeah.
talked a lot of shit about all the couples, about who was gonna make it. He was like a fucking girl. He really was. And she was just kind of like laid back and listening to him. So I kind of felt good for him in the end, because who was the only one to make it and be happy and have the
Karen.
most beautiful wedding, where I was bawling like a baby.
Yeah, but I was gonna say that for last because that was the best.
Okay.
Well, we can talk about them now. That was
No,
really.
well, here's the thing. I knew that they were going to both say yes, and I knew that it was going to be a beautiful thing because she was adamant, and I don't blame her. Because if
Mhm.
I was a mother, I would do the same thing. If I choose to go on a show like Love Is Blind, if I have a kid, I'm doing it for me. But what we're not going to do is traumatize my child. Like, I'll let you meet her, and I would have had the face blurred out and the whole nine. But like she said, if you aren't going to marry me, or if you're not going to say yes, just don't show up, because I don't want my child. It had nothing to do with Karen.
Yeah,
Karen played the responsible person there. She's like, it has nothing to do with me.
I loved her.
I don't want to hurt my child. What you're not going to do is hurt my child. So when I saw that little girl show up, I was like, oh, this is going to happen. But when he pulled out that little bracelet for her, brought her up, child, I was sitting there, my tissue like, ooh.
I was watching it like 5:00 in the morning. I'm like,
And he's like, it's not as nice as yours, but
I was a
little girl was crying.
oh,
That was beautiful.
I was
That was
a
beautiful.
hot mess.
That was beautiful.
That. I thought that was the most one. I must say that was one of the best, if not the best, wedding in Love Is Blind history.
The most touching wedding, and she
It was
looks.
nice.
Karen looks just like her mother.
But you haven't
they
seen the
did like
reunion.
her mother.
Huh?
You haven't seen the reunion.
Okay, don't tell me, because I'm gonna watch it as soon as we get off. I'm gonna watch it.
I ain't. I'll watch it tomorrow.
But so I was. Oh, please don't tell me they're not together.
I'm not gonna say anything. But
Oh,
so that was beautiful. I'm glad that they made it. I'm glad that was really, it was really sweet. It was really sweet.
It was
really
sweet.
nice. It was really
now
nice.
I'm nervous. I'm
So,
so nervous.
Renee and Iris, who we already knew that wasn't going to last, but the fact that they may still be together.
Renee and who's Renee and
Renee and Iris. Renee the doctor and Iris is the lawyer. Remember they went and saw
I was so
his
glad when
family?
he said no. I was so glad when he said no.
Me
And he
too.
better walk away from her.
This is stupid. Because first of all, listen to me. If I was Iris, the day that I sat on that couch next to my fiance and his family talked to me the way that they talked to her, I would have, she was like, oh, I'm holding his hand so tight. See, I'm an ignorant bitch. I would have been like, oh, for real? First of all y'all need to watch that tone of how you talk to me, because I'm not that motherfucker. You ain't gonna talk down to me and be disrespectful to me. And then I'd have looked at my husband, because I'd have been looking at my fiance before I said something. I'd have been looking at my fiance like, you gonna check these people? These are your people. They can't be talking to me like that.
Was that thunder?
yes.
That was loud and clear.
So that would have been me.
Ooh.
But then if he didn't part his lips, I would have got my ass up and I would have said, it was nice meeting you all. You all don't have to ever worry about there being a wedding. sisters, you don't have to worry about your little cash cow of a brother taking care of y'all. You still got him. Because I'm going to do a snagglepuss and I'm going to exit stage fucking right. Peace out. Because I don't like the way they were talking to her. That shit, that's some fucked up shit. You ain't going to talk
I
to
don't
me no way.
care so much because she was a horrible person, in my opinion. And I feel it probably just reeked off her skin. I didn't like her at all.
She was just a desperate person that just wanted to, when she realized what she didn't realize is when she started talking, when they had the reveal, and then she started flapping her gums about, I don't know, the earrings and all of that. And then the announcer came on and was like, well, you can go home.
I want to see if he's seen that part, because that was really hurtful.
When they announced you are no longer in the experiment, I was like, all of Love is Blind should be like that, because sometimes in these reveals and people there, I've watched other seasons where they're like, oh, they're not what I expected. And I don't know if I can
to say it's not what she went in on every single thing about that man.
Yeah.
But she just wanted to be married on Love is Blind. She just wanted to just be married to someone at some point, because they didn't look good together at all.
I think she just wanted to be on the show and married.
Yeah.
Not like
they're polar opposites. I mean, even Stevie Wonder could have seen that. She is, she's more reserved. She's more reserved, and she doesn't drink. And she's not a big partier.
She doesn't drink at all.
Doesn't travel. Well, it's leading me to believe, I don't know, because when they were showing them at dinner and stuff, she had looked like a glass of wine, but it could have been juice or whatever. But I'm saying to myself, why would you want to be? First of all, I have some shits. Like, I'm not dating you if you don't drink. Period. Because what you're not going to do is always look at me and be like, wow, you're having a glass of wine? You're having some
she didn't mind him drinking. She just wanted him drunk and violent.
But he never showed that.
I know, but that's what she was afraid of.
Yeah.
That's what she was afraid of.
Then that's the thing. I can't date you, because what you're not going to do is police me. I don't want to be policed. She kept policing him about the whole finance thing. He's a YOLO kind of guy. He's like, I don't have no bank account. I'm not saving money. I make my money. I travel. I do this. I do that. And she's more regimented. Me, I'm regimented. Do you think I'm going to fucking entertain some dude that is like in his 30s that you don't have a little bit of nothing saved just in case? I'm not saying you got to have like millions of dollars saved, but you got to have somewhat of a nest egg. You can't be, I can't look at you seriously. If you go into Ibiza and you're going to this place and that place and traveling and doing all these goddamn festivals and partying like it's the break of dawn, and you don't got fucking $10,000 in the bank.
And the sister at the wedding was showing me.
She did.
I was like, they did not like her.
With that smirk when she walked off, that smirk she gave her, I love that though.
You saw that, right?
I did not like her.
I did not like her.
The only one we got
Chuma.
left. Chema
and Sylvie.
That was stupid.
But you knew they were going to be. You knew they were going to do something dumb like that. You haven't seen the reunion though, too. But you knew you knew they were going to do something dumb like that, running off and like, no rules forever. Amor.
Corny. It was cringe corny.
It was.
Yeah, it was stupid, and it left everybody high and dry, because it's like, I don't care that they did that, but they never followed up. Like, they just left, and their guests are just sitting there like.
And the mother,
right?
The mother was happy though.
The whole time I was like, oh yeah, she ain't feeling.
She said, well, we don't know. Remember, the mother's like, well, we don't know what happened.
Well, what happened?
Yeah.
I would have been mad.
It's like you don't leave people high and dry like that. So I don't know. I mean, the way it ended, it led me to believe that there's, probably still together, or they were like, you know what, we're going to enjoy each other and we're just going to do what we do. But I
So
don't think
Chrissy's
they're just
team
going to be buddies.
reunion. So this is my prediction. So before I watch it, and we'll discuss later this week after UK. So I'm praying to God that Karen is still together. So
I hope so.
I think they're still together. I do not think Iris and Dumbo got back together.
No.
I don't think that who we just talking about?
Emma and Sylvia.
Sylvia, I don't think that they stayed together. I think that once the cameras was off, they went their separate ways. And who else? Who else is there?
Gerardo and Fernanda.
That definitely. That's probably going to be some fireworks on their reunion because she's probably going to try and gaslight him big time. Like, it was all on him, and I think that's going to be the case. And there was one more.
Willie and Francesca.
Willie and Francesca.
Willie was trying to be really nice and diplomatic at the end when, no, that wasn't him. That was the other dude. When he went up to her when she was doing her confessional and they gave each other a hug and everything. But I still think that Fernanda's going to come in hot. Willie and Francesca, she's going to I think that they're not together. So the only one I really think is together is
Karen and Fernando. But here lies the issue. Karen is another one who's insecure and she's a smoker.
Yeah, that whole smoking thing was a lot
for him. Yeah. And she agreed to, well, you know what? People say things and then get married and they change it up. So the faces that you are making, sir, you have me so nervous. All right, so I'm gonna watch it as soon after, and we'll talk about it later this week.
That's all. Yeah. That's all the couples there. That it was kind of like it was a season that it was like, I don't know. I think I like the UK a little bit better.
Oh, absolutely. I like the UK better.
In terms of the matches, the Mexican one was a little I don't know.
That sex scene with
Karen and Fernando when they made up.
The hand?
Oh, the hand. The hand was on the head frame.
I was like, oh, they made. I guess they made up.
I'm like, honey, your daughter is gonna see this.
I rewound it. I was like this. What? I said, what happened? I was like, rewounded like, and they're all mad, and she left. And then I was like, and we made up. I was like, oh yeah, they made up.
Oh, they made. Not only did they made up. Oh, they made up.
They did.
He gave her her little punishment.
But that's one of the. Also, I think one of the reasons why he stayed with her is because I think he was really into her at the time. I mean, before they got married, that was the thing that kept him at least. Okay, I'm gonna let you do the smoking thing. I'm gonna let you do this. I'm gonna let you do that because he was really into her. I think he was.
So you're saying was.
I mean, he's really into her. I'm talking about the moment. No, I'm talking about the moment when as they were before the marriage. I'm talking about before the marriage was.
All right. So
we shall see.
We'll pick this up later this week.
Yes, we will.
Till next time. Peace out. Stay